monsters, they turn into beasts.
I tell you, tonight we can look for that. We have 11 of the finest monster trucks in the country. Some of the fellas you might want to keep an eye open for. The Gravedigger. That'll be Dennis Anderson. He's out of this area. A lot of people are going to be pulling for him. Out of the state of Minnesota, Rod Letzow. He'll be driving the new USA 1 Chevrolet. He's a rookie. The Chevrolet fans will be pulling for him. And who are they chasing? Your current national points leader in a big blue Ford truck. You know that's got to be Rich Hoosier driving the Bigfoot.
And, of course, before they can compete side to side, they have got to qualify, Army.
And qualifying currently going on is the Stomper Chevrolet trying to get his qualifying shot in to determine the pairings in the first round, Richard.
So qualifying is being completed. We're getting ready to go with our first heat race. We'll be back to Hampton, Virginia for the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge.
Listen to the heart.
And welcome back to Hampton, Virginia. We're at the Langley Speedway for tonight's Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge. I'm Richard Leake, along with Army Armstrong, and what you're seeing now on the screen is some qualifying that they did earlier, and that means we are set to hook up our round of competition, and the Gravedigger gets a bye run the first time around.
Well, Dennis Anderson, he's a local monster truck driver with the Gravedigger. He had quick time tonight, Richard. There's 11 vehicles. Quick time gets to buy a run in the first round.
Then it's going to be just showing off up against Clydesdale.
Texas going up against Georgia, Ford and Chevrolet.
And then coming up after that, USA 1, they talk about him a lot, up against Leadfoot.
He's a new young up-and-comer to USA 1 for the Chevrolet people. Leadfoot all the way out from Arizona on the points.
Then we've got Carolina Crusher and No Problem.
Ford and Chevrolet match up one more time.
And we're going to talk another Ford Chevrolet matchup as Stomper will be taking on Southern Storm in their first round.
Stomper, noted as the #1 Chevrolet monster truck in the country, and representing the Ford camp will be the Southern Storm Ford.
And of course, Army, you cannot talk about monster truck racing without mentioning Bigfoot.
Back in blue, Chandler's Bigfoot with Rick Hoosier doing the driving. He draws a Texas gunslinger named King Crunch in his first round.
So that's the way the first round pairings have come up, and we'll be underway in just a moment. But first of all, it ought to be a fast course tonight, Army. Tell us about the configuration of the course.
The course is basically laid out straight. There's 3 obstacles. They'll start from a dead stop. Then they'll go over a dirt mound. About 75 foot after that mound, they'll go over the first jump. Then they'll settle down and hit the second jump at the conclusion at the end of the track.
All right, so we are just about set to get underway with our competition tonight. The track is a little dry. You see them putting water down to take care of that condition. And Army is down with our pole setter, the top qualifier, Dennis Anderson.
You know, setting on a pole in any motorsport's awfully important. The way you do it is have quick qualifying time. Well, in monster truck racing, we don't have a pole, but we do have a quick qualifying time. Tonight it goes to Dennis Anderson out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Dennis, how's it looking for you?
It's looking good. If I don't have any breakage, I stand a real good chance. And I ran a hard run so I could get my lane choice because that left lane is definitely the lane I'd be in.
Okay, Anderson, quick qualifier of the evening, saying the left lane is the way to go.
All right, so we are ready to get the competition underway. In round number 1, really no competition. Gravedigger, your top qualifier tonight, gets a bye run. Dennis Anderson out of Chesapeake. He's the local favorite driving Gravedigger. And Army, he'll take it easy because he's in no competition.
Well, he's trying to save the equipment. That quick qualifying time really helped him. He didn't have to lean on the equipment as much as some of the other drivers have been doing all afternoon.
And you can see as he goes across a final jump, he did take it easy to protect himself for later in the event. Now, another guy earlier tonight that decided to take it easy, but for different reasons, was Paul Hoffaker, and just showing off, and Army is with him right now.
Normally one of the strongest chargers on a Renegade Tour in the monster truck division, Paul Hoffaker out of the Lone Star State of Texas. We noticed tonight, Paul, you backpedaled a little bit in your qualifying round. What's the reasoning behind it?
We were having to hold back a little bit in the first race here, trying to conserve fuel. We're running low. We got a whole bad batch of alcohol earlier today, and we're cutting it close on making the weekend.
All right, so now we're going to see if Paul Huffaker, they call him Pablo, though, is if his fuel's going to hold out for him. He's going up against Bennett Clark out of Canton, Georgia, driving Clydesdale, and this is the first of the Chevrolet against Ford matchups.
The pairings this evening came out that way. Ford, Chevrolet, so the 2 big manufacturers going head-to-head right here on the Renegade TNT Monster Truck Circuit. Now, Clark has got one hope. He's got to pull the trigger on Hoffaker. They go to the first jump, Richard. It's a close race. Clark looking strong. The chassis unloads just a little bit.
Oh, he's going to lose it. Clydesdale's going up and over almost. Bennett Clark is going to take the win from just showing off Pablo Huffaker. What a wild ride for Bennett Clark. The crowd absolutely loves it on replay. Let's go down with Army now.
Bennett, you stood it on his nose on the other end.
Yeah, I sure did. It got a little out of shape just before I got to the last set of cars. I stood in it. We got an awful lot of air. It came down, the back end came up real high, and all I was looking at was the dirt, and all I could do was just hold the gas to the floor and hope it drive itself out from under it.
All right, so Bennett Clark has taken a wild ride across the finish line in Clydesdale, and now a big matchup between the rookie driver, Rod Litzow, out of Spring Lake, Minnesota, in the USA 1 machine.
Richard, I tell you what, a lot of people in this sport are keeping an eye on the Minnesota-based USA 1 Chevrolet. They believe this truck has so much engineering in it, they're going to have to keep an eye open for it in the future.
And he's up against Ron Dennis in the Chevrolet Leadfoot. And they are off and underway.
Both drivers make the first jump. Chassis looks a little bit tight on Leadfoot. Richard, looks like something's going wrong with Leadfoot.
And USA 1 is slowing down also, coming across the tires. He is dying. USA 1 has died. Has he crossed the finish line, though? Yes, he has. Rod Litzow is going to be the winner in USA 1, but what is wrong with these vehicles?
Question this afternoon, Richard, they were all wondering. They're only 4 feet above sea level at this particular track. It looks like they're going to make some adjustments in the fuel.
Well, Rod Litzow got the win. It may not have been very exciting to watch, but it moves him on in the second round of competition. Rod Litzow in the USA 1 machine, the winner. And this is John Moore out of Tennessee, and no problem as he is going to take on the Carolina Crusher machine of Gary Porter.
Moore, one of the strong independents on the tour. He'll be in the Ford right lane. Now, Porter, he's a young up-and-comer in this circuit out of North Carolina. He's a strong charger for the Chevrolet camp. Richard, they're off and running. It's a good, clean start. They cleared the first mogul. The first jump, Chevrolet looks to make contact with the Ford coming back on him, Richard. They're setting up for the final jump.
It's going to be an exciting finish coming across for no problems in Carolina Crusher. And the winner is going to be Gary Porter, the winner in Carolina Crusher, and right around 2 races featuring Stomper and Bigfoot. Back in Hampton, Virginia for the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge. And Army, we just received word that Starvin Marvin Smith, driver of Stomper, broke in qualifying. That means that Southern Storm will get a bye run here.
Well, I tell you what, Southern Star might need it. He's having a little bit of problem with the chassis this afternoon. He was worried about it. The bye run is a break for him. It'll give him an opportunity to check this vehicle out.
Well, Southern Storm with Robbie Giles getting a bye run and taking it easy on the equipment going across that final jump.
Tell you what, Richard, looks like he's got a lot of air in those tires. They're going to have to make some chassis adjustments.
All right, so Robbie Giles finishes his bye run. He is out of Goose Creek, South Carolina, driving Southern Storm, and Army is down trackside now with Robbie Giles.
Robbie Giles out of Charleston, South Carolina, having a little bit of problem in this round of eliminations. You drew a bye run. It still looks like the chassis is not really working for you tonight.
I don't know what's wrong tonight, Army. Last night we had a good run. I just can't seem to get it back under control tonight. I don't understand it. We'll get back in the pits and work on it and straighten it out for the next round, though.
Like any kind of motorsport, advance to the next round. They got a lot of thrashing to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And here is our final first round of competition. This is what a lot of fans come to see. Rich Hoosier of St. Louis, Missouri, driving Bigfoot 4.
Well, Rich is driving Bob Chandler's truck. Of course, the name Bigfoot's synonymous with the original monster truck. There are a number of these vehicles on the tour. This is the number 4 vehicle. And who does he go up against? None other than one of the old pros himself, Scott Stevens out of Texas, the driver of King Crunch.
Now, Bigfoot qualified second tonight, while King Crunch was 7th in qualifying, so the edge, you would think, would be to Bigfoot as we get ready for the lights to go off. You see the red lights on the screen. Now they're green, and Bigfoot gets out of there very, very fast.
What a hole shot. Now, Stevens is going to come back on him. Okay, Stevens starting to dial a horsepower in on the Chevrolet on the crowd side. Bigfoot trying to stay on top of it, Richard.
And it's Bigfoot that is going to take the win. Rich Hoosier, the winner out of St. Louis, Missouri. He got that home shot, and he was off and running, but King Crunch came back strong. So your winner, Bigfoot 4, Rich Hoosier, and we're going to go down trackside as Army Armstrong is standing in front of the beautiful machine of Bigfoot with Rich Hoosier.
Rick Hoosier driving Bob Chandler's points leading monster truck that goes by the name of Bigfoot. You advanced with an 11:09, but it looked like you fellas were taking a beating up in there.
Yeah, these cars are getting pretty smashed down. It makes it a little bit rougher, so you just have to go over them a little bit faster each time, and that way it makes it a little smoother ride.
Trying to fly over is what you're telling me.
Yeah, try to miss them.
Well, I tell you real quick, I noticed while we have you here, some of the safety equipment real quick. I noticed a single-layer Nomex jacket. You got the bell helmet. What's this item right here?
The neck collar I had made up specially for myself to fit. It's a little bit higher in the back to give more support back here against your neck to keep the protection there.
Okay, and what do you have under your arm here?
The arm pad I use for a lot of times when I'll hang out the truck. So that'll keep my arm protected because I used to get bruised up under my arm from the door.
Real good. Well, Rick Hoosier advances, ladies and gentlemen. The next time you watch a monster truck race, watch the abuse these gentlemen take.
And one of the guys that gives that abuse a lot on the series is Dennis Anderson, the local favorite, and Army Armstrong was with him earlier.
Dennis, we want to welcome you to the Renegade Tour, and we want to talk about your truck a little bit this afternoon. What exactly is the sheet metal on the truck?
It's a 51 Ford sheet metal. It's a panel truck. When you look down the field of monster trucks, everything's a pickup truck. Ford, Chevrolet is basically the same, so I figured I'd go to something a little different style.
One of the main differences in the Gravedigger that we've seen with the other monster trucks is the actual location of the engines. A lot of your monster trucks run the engines in the front. We have seen mid-engines, but you're actually running a rear engine combination. What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, it's really when I hit the cars and I launch, it keeps my front end up in the air a little bit better, and it's a lot easier on the drivetrain, the kingpins and things like that, and it's just you know, with the weight transfer, I'm not slamming down on my front end as hard.
There's a rumor on the circuit that in the Old West where they used to put notches in their guns, we understand there's going to be some names start to show up on the tombstones on the side of the Gravediggers. Is there any truth in that?
Yeah, we've talked about it. I've got a few tombstones reserved for a few people out here, for some of my monster truck buddies, but yeah, we talked about it.
But Dennis Anderson is going to try to add another name to a tombstone as we're in the quarterfinal round of 8, and Army King Crunch, Scott Stevens, is back in the competition.
Working his way back in by one of the rules. The two quick-time losers get to come back. Stevens trying on the right lane. Richard, it doesn't look like it's going to be his night, but the local boy, look at him go.
Whoa, the crowd loves Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger, up and over every one of them. Easily the winner over King Crunch and Scott Stevens. The local favorite, Dennis Anderson, and the Gravedigger machine is rock and rolling tonight. And Army Armstrong is down trackside with this quarterfinal winner, Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger.
10:52, recording winning time to advance the Gravedigger in the next round of eliminations. Dennis, how are we feeling?
Feeling good. Feel like I'm going to be able to pull it off. I can just keep my truck together.
Who do you have to look out for in the remainder of the field now? You just put one of the big guns from Texas away. Who else is sitting back in there trying to put you away?
I would say Bigfoot, Carolina Crusher, and USA 1. All of those three trucks are running strong, but although all the trucks are putting out hard here.
Well, I'll tell you what, the track, what's it doing? Is it coming around or going away?
No, it's coming around. I think it'll get faster and faster, and I'm going to run the same gear I'm running as long as somebody doesn't beat my time. When they beat my time, I'm going to change my gearbox and try to get a little bit faster.
Well, they qualified in the 11s, eliminations, they got them down in the 10s. They are really thundering with the monster trucks on the Renegade Tour.
Well, we've got more quarterfinal action straight ahead from Hampton, Virginia at the Langley Speedway as the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge continues in a moment.
Be a part.
And we are back in Hampton, Virginia for the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge quarterfinal action. Clydesdale and USA 1, and earlier tonight, Clydesdale and the driver, Bennett Clark, took a wild ride, Army.
Going to call this one the Battle of the Butterflies. Both drivers got to be a little bit nervous. USA 1, he's a new driver, trying to make a name for himself. Bennett Clark went almost on his nose a moment ago. They both got to be a little bit nervous. Let's see who's going to try to go after who.
And you see the red light is on. We wait for the green light to come out. Then the battle begins. Clydesdale and USA 1. This could be a north versus south deal because Rod Litzow is from Minnesota and Bennett Clark from the state of Georgia. You see the officials with his hands up, the signal given. Now they wait for the green light to come out. They are off.
Litzow puts a gate job on Clydesdale. Let's see what's going to happen. First jump, USA 1 Chevrolet looking strong. Clydesdale trying to pull back in on him. I don't believe he's going to do it, Richard. USA 1.
It is going to be an easy win for Rod Litzow and USA 1. As a matter of fact, Bennett Clark has gone off the side of the jump there. Bennett Clark and Clydesdale took a wild ride earlier. He takes another wild one this time. But moving on in the competition, the rookie driver out of Spring Lake, Minnesota, that is Rod Litzow, driver of the USA 1 machine. The North won this battle, and the Chevrolet driver is down trackside with Army Armstrong.
Rod Litzow, driver of the USA 1, all the way down from coal country, but you're still advancing, chasing the national points championship. How did the run feel to you?
Felt really good right now. The truck's been running good. We just had a problem in the last run where we blew the batteries. The battery came loose in the back, but now we got that solved.
We're noticing a lot of the winners coming off the left side of the track. Now, something I don't understand, is there definitely a good side and a bad side to the competition this evening?
I think so. And that's where I've been picking the inside track, and I like that track. I'm used to it. So it's working.
Well, good luck in the rest of the elimination. USA number 1, Chevrolet. Speaking of the competition, notice the oil leak on the front drivetrain of the USA 1 Chevrolet, taking its toll.
Well, we are halfway through the quarterfinal round of competition now as we've got 4 monster trucks to go, and this is going to be another north-south battle as Carolina Crusher out of North Carolina with Gary Porter up against the Southern Storm of Robbie Giles from South Carolina.
I tell you what, earlier Robbie Giles was having a whole lot of problems with the chassis. He told us he's going to try to make some changes, but he still do that bad right lane. Porter loves the left lane, gets a good shot in the Chevrolet, and it looks like, Richard, he's not going to have any problem advancing to the next round.
Well, Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher up and over. Meanwhile, Robbie Giles and Southern Storm just now hitting that second row jump of cars, and Giles is going to take it home now, and he does not seem too happy about that fact as he spins it around and heads it towards the pits. Meanwhile, your winner, the Carolina Crusher machine of Gary Porter, and he's trackside with Army Armstrong.
Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher advances to the next round of eliminations. Gary, what's it looking like out there?
Well, the left lane is still the best lane, and it's still running strong.
So if you had a lane choice in the next round, and that's determined by the quick time in the previous round, where are you going to go?
To the left lane.
Everybody's looking to the left tonight, chasing the Renegade points.
All right, so now we are ready for our last final quarter-round matchup. Bigfoot against Just Showing Off, and Army Just Showing Off got here by having a fast time.
He was a loser in the first round, but he was a quick loser. That'll bring him back to go against none other than the original monster truck, Bigfoot. Hallmaker, Richard, will not be intimidated. He's in a bad lane. It's going to be a crapshoot. He's got to go after him with all the gusto he can.
All right, we are waiting for the green. As green is out, it's an even start for both of them. Bigfoot now gaining a little bit of advantage up and over.
Hallmaker looks like he's starting to work his way back. Bigfoot's in trouble. Hallmaker's starting to shut the door on him and goes over the finish line, Richard.
Wait a minute, what happened to Huffaker? You saw the right rear tire get squirrely on it. Something wrong with his machine also. Let's go down trackside. Army Armstrong with Pablo Huffaker.
Paul Hallmaker just pulled a major upset, putting the Bigfoot truck away. Now, Paul, you came out of the right lane all night long. Everybody's been saying the left lane is the way to go. They had the left lane. You put them away. How'd you do it?
I don't know what happened to Foot, but I was just mashing on my motor as hard as I could, and something broke on my truck. We'll have to see if we can get it back together for the next round.
We're going to let you get right back to the action. Huffaker advances, ladies and gentlemen. Bigfoot goes on the trailer.
All right, so Bigfoot is out, and we'll be right back with the semifinals. Back in Hampton, Virginia, ready for the semifinals, but 2 guys won't be there, Army. Bigfoot got beat by Just Showing Off, but now he can't make it.
Just received word Hallmaker did severe damage to the rear suspension on the Just Showing Off. He lost his rear steer, and Bigfoot goes out by losing the front steer on the trucks.
All right, so these guys, though, are in the semifinals. Local favorite, hero, grave digger, that is Dennis Anderson, up against the rookie driver Rod Litzow in the USA 1 machine, waiting for the green to go off right now as the 2 are lined up side by side. First round of semifinal action.
Litzow trying to make a name for himself right out of the box, a little out of shape. Anderson takes advantage of it, Richard, and he's trying to lead him, and Litzow's in trouble. Anderson won't quit. He goes after him.
Dennis Anderson is going to get the win over Rod Litzow in the USA 1 machine. The local favorite may have trouble. You see smoke coming out of the back, though, right there of the Gravedigger machine. Smoke coming out of the rear compartment where his engine is. Let's go trackside with Army Armstrong and Dennis Anderson.
Well, Dennis Anderson with the Gravedigger, he is going into the final, but it looks like it cost you something. We noticed the rear suspension got a lot of oil or grease coming out back here. Do you have any idea what it is, Dennis?
Yeah, I think I just wasted my motor. I might have thrown a rod in it, and when I pulled up here, I noticed I lost oil pressure, and so I'm out now.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see a tough break, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Anderson with the Gravedigger doing a super job in front of his own hometown crowd. Let's hope he can get back in this thing. Good luck, Dennis.
Well, Army, we just got word that, in fact, Dennis Anderson won't be back. That means the USA 1 machine right there of Rod Litzow, the rookie driver, moves to the finals against the winner of this matchup. And this is interesting. Carolina Crusher, which has won every one of his races tonight, up against King Crunch, who has yet to win a race.
King Crunch hasn't won a race yet, but everybody that beats him, they break when they beat him, and he advances up into their spot.
And on a foggy night, there you see the local driver, Dennis Anderson, and Gravedigger going slowly to his grave with a blown motor. Not in the finals tonight for Dennis Anderson. But these 2 guys are fighting to get to the finals. We're waiting for the green light to fall, and there it is, and off goes the Carolina Crusher.
What a hole shot. Again, working the left side earlier. Porter told us the left's the place to go. He's proven it. Stevens trying to come back on him. I don't believe he's going to hold him off, Richard. The Carolina Crusher sets up an all Chevrolet final.
All right, it is Gary Porter, the winner, over King Crunch and Scott Stevens. So now Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher moves into the finals against the USA 1 machine, the rookie driver Rod Litzow. And earlier today, Army Armstrong spent some time with Rod talking about his machine.
Well, let me ask you, since it's going to be the first time out in the truck, you got to be a little apprehensive this afternoon. We've got a 7:30 start here chasing these Renegade points. What's going through your mind? How do you prepare? You're a long way from home. You've got about, what, $100,000 worth of another man's equipment. What's going through your mind right now?
Nervous, real nervous right now. Just psych myself up. That's all I put on my mind is what I'm going to do out there, try to put everything else out of my mind.
In what capacity have you been around the monster trucks?
Well, I was a custom painter, and I've taken care of the paint work, just traveled with it, putting the tires on. I was, one of the crew for about 6 of those years.
The new kid on the block is coming after the old hired guns. He's going to see if he can battle with the big boys tonight, chasing these Renegade points.
All right, Army, so on a foggy night here in Virginia, we're ready to crown the king. USA 1 against Carolina Crusher. They're off.
Side-by-side Chevrolet final. Here we go. Richard, the first jump. USA 1 a little bit of a lead. Now the Crusher starts to come back on him. We're lining up for the second jump of cars. I don't know. They're both a little bit off course.
And across the finish line, who was it? It looked like perhaps on the inside, USA 1 had the little bit of an edge, but we're going to have to wait for the official word. Did Rod Litzow win his first ever race as a rookie driver? Yes, he did tonight. He's down with Army Armstrong.
This is your first time to drive the truck. You go right out on top. You beat the best in the country. Congratulations to you from all the fine people at Renegade.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without everyone behind me that built the truck and that. The truck's running really good. It's designed to do this, and we're going from here. There's a good start, and we're going.
No, it was a great start. As you see the replay, Rod Litzow, the first time in USA 1, he was the winner at the finish line. A photo finish for him, but heartbreak for others tonight as the Gravedigger, the local favorite Dennis Anderson, broke down. He went out, and Bigfoot, your national points leader, went out also. But the strong survive, and they'll be back, and we'll be back with more Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge races in the future. From Hampton, Virginia, I'm Richard Lake, along with Army Armstrong, saying Godspeed on the tracks of your life.
Join us next time for Power Tracks, the most powerful sport on earth. Brought to you by TNT Motorsports, the nation's leader in pulling and monster truck racing.